Welcome back to another episode of My Blue Jail, and it's a wonderful spring day. The sun is out, well, as much as it'll be out in the Pacific Northwest. The birds are chirping and the trees are pollinating, but they're pollinating all over your Jeep. And that's what this episode's going to be about, not necessarily cleaning your Jeep, but maintaining that finish. But before we protect it, we need to make sure this finish is as clean as possible. That's why you need to go check out some videos over at Cheaper Jeeper on how to wash this thing and make it looking as good as it can, so we can then go ahead and do some clay barring and ceramic coating and get this thing nice and protected for the season we have ahead of us. Before we get into today's grocery list, if you like today's content or any of my other videos, it would really help me if you smash that like button. It'll help me justify the day and a half it took just to make that little animation you saw across your screen. First on our grocery list is Mother's California Gold. This is a pretty complete kit that comes with 2 clay bars, an instant detailer spray, a nice microfiber cloth, all wrapped into one box. You can get this at your local retail for anywhere between 17 to 20 bucks. Next we have is the actual ceramic coating that we're going to use, which is the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solution Ceramic Spray. I chose this solution for its ease of application and its overall pretty good reviews so far. And this will run you anywhere between $15 to $17 at your local retailer. And last but not least, microfiber cloths. Lots and lots of microfiber cloths. I suggest getting multicolored microfiber cloths so you don't confuse different applications for different cloths. These can run around $10 for a nice good sized pack of them. All in, you're looking to spend about $50 at your local car hardware shop or your Walmart or Amazon for really a job that can cost almost $1,000 at any car detailer. So you're getting a pretty good bargain here, but don't expect to get the same quality as you would at a car detailer. Before we really get into things, let's go ahead and first discuss what exactly is clay barring. Well, to put it simply, it's a technique that's been used for quite a long time with car detailers of rubbing clay on a car's finish to help pick up some of that embedded junk and dirt that gets stuck into the paint job or the clear coat. On first blush, it does sound a little bit counterintuitive, but the clay is actually safe and it won't scratch up your paint job. What it's going to do is basically absorb up any of the particulate on your paint job and bring it into the clay, so it gives it a nice clean surface as you're rubbing it. Another key aspect of this technique is the detailing spray, which acts as a lubricant, allowing the clay to gently glide over your paint job. Just an extra note, not any clay is going to do for this kind of job here, so make sure to use only an approved clay. Let's go ahead and start off by kneading the clay a little bit just to get into a workable shape. The technique that works best is whatever works best for you. I personally like to wrap it around my thumb a little bit and just use my thumb to glide up and down the paint. Others like to form it into a patty and put it in their palm and allow the palm to glide up and down the paint. If possible, it's best to work in either indoors or shade, or either that or a cold day. If you have to work in direct sun, try to limit your work to small patches at a time. What you don't want is your detail spray to dry up as you're rubbing your clay bar. The technique is pretty simple. You just spray a small area and rub it around with the clay bar. Try to do circle motions and not straight horizontal or vertical motions. Once you're done with the area, make sure to buff it off with your microfiber towel. And just repeat this process across your entire paint job. It's really that simple. Do make sure to check your clay bar every once in a while. Dirt will build up on your clay bar, so you just knead it a couple of times and you'll get a clean surface to continue work on. Now the question you may be asking is, I got a brand new Jeep fresh off the car lot. Do I really need to do this technique? And really, yes, you do. You should see the kind of junk that I got out of the clay bar when I first did mine 2 weeks off the lot. Even fresh out of the factory, these things can build up a lot of particulate just in transport to the car lot, let alone if it's been on the car lot doing test drives or just sitting out in the elements. Once you're done clay barring your entire Jeep, I'm sure you'll notice a stark difference from when you started. But don't let this gloss fool you, as a lot of it is due to the detailing spray. It acts kind of as an armor all over your car body, so there's kind of this oily finish that we have to get rid of before we do the ceramic coating. Now the question is, why would you clay bar your vehicle over polishing it? Well, considering your vehicle's rather new, your clear coat isn't going to be as damaged, and polish will basically remove a layer of your clear coat in order to remove some of the damage. Now what we're trying to do is just clear off some of the junk that might be embedded in the clear coat and not necessarily fix any of the damage. If your Jeep already has a bunch of swirl marks or some pretty thick scratches in the clear coat, you might want to think of polishing it instead of doing the clay bar technique. Here I just use a generic common window cleaner to help break up that film, so the ceramic spray has a nice clean surface to stick to. Now, as you watch me work in the background, let's talk a little bit about the ceramic coating that we're going to be using. Ceramic coatings are a relatively new item in the detailer's arsenal of tools to use, and it's only been around a couple of years and is just now starting to hit the consumer market outside of the detailer's service. Now, this spray was definitely not the first on the market, but it seems to be one of the highest rated and one of the easiest to apply. But let's go ahead and talk about what are the benefits of these ceramic coatings. First and foremost, a ceramic coating is a longer lasting version of wax, and it also helps protect your finish and makes cleaning it afterwards significantly easier and has great hydrophobic qualities. This product that I'm using is rated to last up to a year on your finish, but I've found so far about 3 months is what I can expect living in the Pacific Northwest, which is really harsh on any type of coatings on your car, just because of the constant rain and weather that we get up here. But that's still going to be significantly longer than a traditional wax job, and this is actually a lot easier to apply than any type of carnauba wax. Now, for reference, any type of ceramic coating that you get at a professional car detailer is going to last upwards to 3 to 5 years, have a warranty on it, and it's going to be a lot stronger. You can buy that type of ceramic coating in the open market for about $80 to $120 for a little vial of it, but it's going to be significantly more difficult to apply and also just a lot more time consuming. I think this turtle wax hits the nice sweet spot between having a good protection, longevity, and ease of apply, so that's why I've been using it. Now, as for application of the ceramic coating, at least for this specific one, let's just follow Mr. Miyagi's famous words, wax on, wax off, or at least ceramic on, ceramic off. It's really that simple. You spray a small area, you let it sit for a couple of seconds, and then you buff it on out. Personally, I found having 2 microfiber cloths really helps. Having one that tends to get a little bit more saturated in the ceramic coating and one that is more of a drier cloth to help level things off and clean off any excess. I've also found this product to work very well on the plastic fenders and the various trim pieces all around the Jeep. Overall, I would say it would be about a 2 to 3 hour process to both clay bar the Jeep and ceramic coating. That's not including all the time you also spent washing it to get it to this point. Once you're done ceramic coating, it's best to leave it for about 24 hours before you do anything else to the finish to let it cure. And after all that hard work, voila, you're done. And you've saved yourself probably about $1,000 from taking it to a car dealer and having a similar job done. And now it's time to sit back and enjoy the glory of your paint job. Well, unless you have a mojito paint, but that's something else. Like I said, this product can last for up to a year, depending on your conditions. The ceramic coating is going to actually give your finish kind of a Teflon feel to it when you rub your hands down. It's going to be much different than when you first felt the kind of grain that you did when we first tested it before the clay bar and the ceramic finish. And this Teflon-like coating is going to help immensely the next time you go clean your Jeep. Let's show you an example. Just before making this video, my Jeep was an unfortunate victim of a springtime tree orgy, as you can see right here. And my wife's car got completely plastered with pollen. Now, the pollen isn't the most difficult substance to get off your vehicle, but it really is just a pain in the butt. And watch with just a little bit of water from a garden hose, and like almost all of it comes right off the Jeep. Now, if you do the same to my wife's car, which hasn't had the ceramic coating applied to it, I'd say about half of it is still left on the car. And here you can see the results of just simply washing the Jeep's hood off with the hose versus washing my wife's roof off with the same hose and the same power. You can see there's still a lot of that pollen left on my wife's roof to where my Jeep is almost completely clean. This is a great example of the benefits of ceramic coating. This dirt and grime and stuff will just not stick to it. Now, in another totally ironic example of the protection that the ceramic coating can give your paint job, literally a bird turd landed on my Jeep an hour after I got done filming this episode. And you can see here that the turd is actually beating up like water droplets would on a freshly waxed vehicle. I mean, it's kind of an ironic bit of fate that this happened, but it still is a great example of the protection you get. And about a couple hours after that, we had a little bit of rainfall in the neighborhood, and it completely washed the turds off. There's almost no remains of the bird turds after it rained, and that is the kind of protection you get with the ceramic coating. Well, that should about do it for this episode of ceramic coating your Jeep. If you enjoyed this content, I would really appreciate it if you would just smash that like button, maybe share it with your friends. If you want, subscribe and you'll get notification of any future content. You're definitely going to want to subscribe for the next episode. We're going to be replacing those crummy halogen headlights with LEDs for under $100, and the difference is astonishing. So until next time, stay home, stay safe, mod your Jeep, and when the time comes, I'll see you on the trails, and be sure to keep the really shiny ceramic coated side up.